Hey everyone, before we start the show, I want to bring attention to a raffle that is currently going on. The raffle is being put together by Anson, and it is for Elizabeth and Wade Francis. Now, Wade is a hail technician from Houston, has been working in the Denver area this past year. They lost their child. They were ready to give birth to their child, and at the 9-month mark when they're getting to deliver the child, he had passed away in the womb. Elizabeth has also been battling cancer during her pregnancy. So this is a family that has suffered extreme tragedy, and the good people at Anson and all the tool companies have come together and has gone and done a GoFundMe, which has been set up. And for everyone that donates, they will be eligible in winning some awesome tools. First of all, if you donate $100 or more, you will be in the raffle for a set of tools, a group of tools, and there's a ton of them. Besides that, if you donate $225, you'll be eligible for the Power PDR box as well. And if you donate $250 or more, it will add you to the aluminum hot box made by Betatech. Finally, if you donate $450 or more, you will be qualified to win the Big Daddy, which is the TDN tool cart, the full line of Tequila tools, from the 12-piece set to the 6-piece 7/32 set, the 4-piece door hook set, ratcheting 6-piece set, and the 5-piece upper ratcheting door set as well. So please go on our page. You'll see it on PDR Tool Time. You'll also see it on our Facebook page. Make the donation. We will record it there, and then Anson will draw from the names based off of the GoFundMe. So please be generous. This is a family in need. This will buy them a little bit of time to grieve together without having Wade have to go on the back to the hail trail, and also pay for the funeral expenses for the young one that had passed away. So without further ado, here's our show. Welcome to PDR Tool Time, your industry podcast, tools, reviews, and stories.
Welcome to another episode of PDR Tool Time. This is episode 147 with your hosts, Daniel Grom, Vince D'Alessandro, and John Renstrom, and our special guest, Paul Kordon, on tonight. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hello, hello.
Hey, everybody.
What's happening, guys?
So this episode is brought to you by Vince?
Magnatech, Mobile Tech RX, Hog Glue, and don't forget Edgy Tools, where you get 15% off by using coupon code PDRTT15.
Awesome. Hey, guys. Hey, Paul, how are you?
Good evening. I have had better days. I'm a little sick with the flu right now, but I am excited to tell you guys all about it.
Well, that's expected because Paul right now is coming to us from the North Pole.
Yes.
He went up to see Santa Claus.
It's in Santa Land.
And if you go to our YouTube page, you'll be able to see him in Santa Land.
Live from the toy shed.
Better view there. There we go.
I want to come
How tall is
visit
that
you right
Christmas
now.
tree?
I want to come visit you right now and cuddle with you on the couch.
It would be very warm and cozy. I can promise you that.
Tell me you have red flannel blankets for everyone.
Oh, brother. Do you want me to turn this thing around? I'll show you. My wife decks it out for Christmas. We've
all
got
15 of your kids. They're all matching, right?
Christmas wicker chairs.
Oh,
and
that's
Seeing
beautiful.
the flannel.
here.
Yeah, that's
Got
gorgeous.
blankets,
Ask her if she'll come to California and decorate my house.
No doubt.
He would probably love it. She's excellent at organization, and she, believe it or not, with 5
really
kids,
need her.
dogs, 2 cats, and a couple of bunnies, she kills it on keeping this place clean. Considering it's like,
That's pretty impressive.
we
I don't
sweep.
even have a single Christmas light out yet.
5 minutes later, we have to sweep again. So,
Like maybe some other time.
Well, you know what? That's why you get a dog. The dogs vacuum for you. So there's never any food on the ground. They just kind of
That's
mow
it.
along. And...
the 2 dogs can't keep up.
All right. Now, your house in you're in Virginia. Do you have a basement?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so you just throw all the kids in the basement and let them run wild, right?
Yeah. We have a bunch of acres too. Not a bunch, a few acres, and they run around out there too. And
Yeah.
so in the summertime, it's great. Spring and summer is great. They're outside playing around and doing whatever they do. But still, it's they're in and out, so it's a constant.
So instead of the streetlights coming on and knowing to go home, what happens? The coyotes start howling. It's like, all right, you better get home before you get eaten.
That's a really funny question because you're gonna laugh at the answer. So my wife the first time she came to Harbor Freight Tools with me. She walked around like she was in. You would have thought she was in like a makeup store.
Right.
She was like, use some of this stuff. And the first thing that she bought from Harbor Freight Tools was the cheap little
Triangle.
mega that
Oh,
runs on a couple of D batteries.
yes.
She goes out on the deck with the megaphone and she yells and she goes, "Asher!" He might be out in the weeds or in the woods or whatever.
You didn't yell, "Suey!"
Oh, speaking of the devil, here she is with a megaphone right here.
Yeah.
This is it. Harbor Freight. Yep, that's what we use. But we probably ought to get a big, dinner bell, something like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, you need the big triangle.
That too. That'll work.
Like in Harbor Freight.
My wife, she's got the mama voice that when she went out the front door to yell for our kids, they could have been a mile away and they heard it. It's like, huh?
Yeah, they
Mom's
just know.
calling.
His friend growing up, his mom, he was Italian, and his mom was like that. We could be a mile away. Oh, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
It's time to come home.
His mom's calling. We gotta go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We lived in a small town.
Yeah.
If mom yelled at one end, it was heard on the other end. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
There was only 500 people in the whole town. It was barely a mile wide.
That's awesome. Okay, this is part 2 with Mr. Kordon here, and he's going to bring a lot of new stuff to the table, and he wasn't really willing to share it with us last time because he was still building his systems and putting those in place, but I believe he is ready to unleash the power of Paul Kordon.
And we at PDR Tool Time are bringing it here first.
Exclusive.
Don't.
Absolutely true. Yeah, man, I'm super stoked. I'm working with 2 other folks. You guys know Todd Zimmerman from Carbon Tech Tools.
Yep.
And my brother Tim, who a lot of people are aware of, but maybe don't know him as much because he hasn't had as much FaceTime with on Facebook and other forums. But so the 3 of us have been working, excuse me, for a while on this project. And basically, what we're doing is we're launching a new website called pdrprofit.com. Okay. And basically where all of this comes from is quite honestly, I mean, over the years, I've had so many phone calls and emails and Facebook messages and texts and, you name it from guys all over the country, some who are even across the pond who have asked me for information or for help or, consultation of sorts. Right. And it's been awesome. I love helping people. If you don't know this about me yet, the truth is that I think people are awesome. I have my bad days where I'm not too thrilled with some people or all of them. But in general, I mean, I think people are awesome. I especially have, an affinity for dent guys and the PDR business because that's all I've ever known in my professional career for going on 20 years now. And I love seeing PDR guys win, right? That's been my mantra for a long time. Like, I want to see the Daniel Groms and the Vince D'Alessandros and the John Renstroms absolutely crush it in their business. And so I love doing that. I love hearing the stories of guys who have implemented stuff that I've recommended, and then they come back and they tell me how they've doubled or tripled their revenue, or how they're doing this making more money in less time and less effort.
Sure.
And so, in an effort to help more people, I decided, hey, it's time for me to launch something of my own that gives guys the opportunity to basically have all of the inner, workings of my brain and the collective brains of Tim and Todd, who we've passed ideas back and forth. Tim and I, since we were kids, we're brothers, obviously. and then Todd, since he's been in the mix, Todd's been such a great resource. Really, if you know Todd, he's really smart. He's just a good person. He always wants to do the right thing, and he's an idea guy too. He loves that. So we really complement each other and just passing stuff along and learning new things and using our contacts to grow our own knowledge and our own sense of understanding of not just our industry but other industries that we intersect with all the time.
Sure. And Paul, it's one of those things that I hate to interrupt you, but I was just talking to Mike today, Mike Toledo, and you could be a great dent guy and a lousy businessman, right? And there's a lot of those out there. And just because you're a great dent guy doesn't mean that you know what you're doing when it comes to business. And a lot of people fail because of that. Some people are better followers than leaders. And it's nothing wrong with that. It's just knowing your place. And with the three of you guys, you are all successful at what you've been doing for years, whether it's hail damage or you've been in the retail world with your past company for years. And Todd, obviously, he's been a hail guy for forever and makes an excellent product and knows how to sell product as well.
Yeah, it's kind of neat how between the three of us, so my brother Tim has been in the hail industry for close to 17, maybe 18 years now. And he's been all over the States and even he's done some work in, I believe, Australia and South Africa. I may have one of those wrong, but I know he's been across that way. And then Todd, obviously coming from the hail world and then also coming from the PDR tool manufacturing side of things, he brings a whole, different insight to the group. And then obviously my forte for the last 19 years or so has been retail, running, operating, and then making profitable a retail shop. And now with my own service business at home, Tim and I have partnered together in our business called Dent Shop here in Northern Virginia. And now running that from the owner's perspective rather than just a area manager or shop manager type of scenario, it's a whole new world. I'm learning a lot. I'm excited because we're seeing success, and all of the things that I learned by running a retail shop, I'm now able to apply to my own business, and I'm watching the growth that's happening from that, and then at the same time, having been involved with other folks and their businesses and watching them, succeed from the things that I've learned and that I've shared with them, it's really rewarding. I mean, to be honest with you, we've consulted with some pretty big companies, one in Boise in particular, and another one down in Southern Virginia, and a number of smaller individual companies, and just the success stories that I hear on a regular basis are really inspiring and encouraging. And that's, for me, it takes me a while to sometimes pick up on an idea and decide to run with it. I'm finally at the point where I'm like, okay, listen, there's a lot of people who are succeeding with this information. I want to be able to give it to the whole world and help these guys succeed. So that's what we're doing with PDRprofit.com.
You know what, Paul? You absolutely deserve it, because just me personally and what you've done for me and my company and my profitability, I can't thank you enough. And if our listeners are out there aren't listening to you or not taking this to their business, they're doing themselves a disservice. So I want to thank you personally, and I'm excited for you. I think you deserve all the success. So,
well, I appreciate that, and I know you and I, Daniel, have spoken for a while, and I've experienced and heard you talk about some of the success stories you've seen, and I mean, that genuinely pumps me up. I mean, you know that better than anybody, because I'm always like, I'm stoked for guys when they win. That's just how it is. I mean, it's when you win, I feel like I win because our industry is winning, and that's
most of the time it's you pissing me off, going, you got how much? Okay, God dang it, I'm going to top that. Yeah, I'm going to rise to that challenge, and I'm going to try to get that
healthy competition.
Now, Paul, is the website up and active? I've got it up, and you've got the opt-in for information and updates. Guys can get in there and fill that out right now.
Correct. Yes. So right now, the only call to action I'm asking from people is to give me your email and opt in for updates and information. We're actually going to be launching this site early in 2019. That was our target date. It still is our target date. That gives us some time right now to ramp up our production. Obviously, I guess I should bring some clarity to what the site is. Okay, so essentially, what it is a subscription site that's going to offer video education, and we're basically going to be educating guys on the soft side and the business of the business skills of PDR. So selling, estimating, and negotiating. And we're going to get down to the granular level with these things. I have a whole bunch of ideas that I think I'm gonna put into practice and really give guys the opportunity to get down to the nitty gritty and the fine levels of detail on these things. You guys know there's some great companies out there that do hard skills training. You know, they'll teach you how to fix a dent, and they'll teach you how to use the tool and things like that. And we love them. We'll continue to promote them and would love to affiliate with them as well. But we want to focus on what's the stuff that you know and you're learning and you're applying up in your head to your business. And that's where really has been kind of my sweet spot between, you know, the pricing guides and then, you know, price a dent feature, Mobile Tech RX, and then also helping to analyze guys' businesses and figure out how we tweak them to be better and produce more.
There's so much into being and running a business well beyond, you know, the aspect of fixing dents, which is primarily what a lot of guys get fixated on. But it comes from everything from the manner of your dress to the way you meet your customers. All of that plays into a factor, as well as, and one of the things that Mobile Tech RX had done was it took away that factor of giving a price, especially when using the Paul Kordon price guide and price a dent. We moved the factor out of the human and into the device, and that made that big difference. But there's still a whole attitude when you're interacting with your customer and the presence that you give with your customer. They come to you because you're supposed to be the expert. Mm-hmm. And if you're not in that expert role, then they really start to question everything, you know, the whole decision process that got them to there. So I like the fact that you guys are going to go in and go completely after the whole being a business and running it as a business and every aspect of everything that you do outside of the fixing the dent.
Yeah, the soft skills are probably equally as important, if not in some cases more important than the hard skills and the ability to push a dent. And I can say that confidently because I have seen excellent technicians who did not know how to maximize their profit on their work because they didn't have the necessary tools on the soft end of the business. And I have seen poor technicians who have the sales skills or maybe the negotiating skills or the right estimating tools, and they have increased their profits incredibly without having to really perform amazing work. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. There's tons of those guys.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't mean that to slight anyone because guys all over the map.
Yeah,
so
it's an amazing ability.
John, did you say you know what he's talking about, or you know who he's talking about?
No, I know what he's talking about. I know a few who's too, but again, it's not digging at them. That high level sales ability. And even on Mobile Tech RX's aspect, I was asked to do that, and I'm not that guy. You know, I can sell my dents, I can sell Mobile Tech RX, but I am not that high level sales end of it. And when you meet somebody who's like the Zen of sales, it's like watching the Zen of dent guys.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
I have a handful of competition that they could completely oversell me. And underperform in their dents, and the customer walks away like, oh, he's the greatest ever. He did a great job. And then they come over to me, well, he couldn't get this dent. And I'm like, well, what about the other one? Oh, no, he fixed that one already. What do you mean he fixed it? I could still see it. You know, and, you know, I don't mean to call people out, and I try not to. Yeah. But I know that he got more money than me, and if for some reason, you know.
And he has the customer for life.
Exactly. You know, so it's, you know, it's.
So let me help me wrap my head around what the website's going to do.
Basically, like I said, it's a subscription-based website. So technicians are going to sign up to have access to the content that's going to be inside. And what I'm going to do is, I mean, to go back to John's point, about something that, each of us do well. Like, what's our kind of our forte? And I mean, I can tell you guys, I can hold my own when it comes to repairing dents and big smashes and really nasty stuff. And I know that about myself, but obviously, I feel like within the world of PDR, what's been revealed to me is, number one, probably my ability to help guys gain knowledge that maybe they don't have on what their craft is worth, and then also teaching all of that information. So I've had the opportunity to speak at a number of seminars, both PDR College and Mega Media and the PDR Nation room at MTE, and a little bit at a few other places. And so I've gotten very good responses from that. And so I'm trying to take that lead and go, how can I help the most people possible in the PDR industry profit as much as possible? And at this point, this is what I've come down to.
Is that going to be in the form of videos?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to be producing videos that are going to basically teach you guys all of the things that I have learned and that I have seen help other people succeed in their business. That's the majority of the phone calls and emails and texts I get are questions about, well, how do I do this? How do I apply the price guide to this situation? Or what do I do when I hear this from a customer and I need to persuade them to pay me the money that I need? What do you do in a situation with an adjuster when this happens? And many more examples of that type of stuff. Well, the truth is we just don't know what we don't know. And I'm in that party too. There's a lot of things that I still have yet to discover and to learn. But when I do learn them and I know that they are profitable, I want to share those with other people, and then also share the stuff that I have learned over the last 20 years in PDR and profit.
When you said talk about what our craft is worth, I think that rolls back, and you mentioned this on the show when we've had you on before and discussed pricing, but it's also getting the technician to realize what they are worth.
Mm-hmm.
The time that we all took to perfect the skill that we are in, that time has a price.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm cashing in on it every single time. Here I am, over 14 years doing paintless stain repair since I moved out of the body shop, and I'm cashing in on it. And I'm making sure that I'm maximizing at every stretch. Now, not every single car has to be the home run. We always compromise in some aspects. Just before Thanksgiving, I ate a job just so I could get going and get out the door. But the idea is that I hit it every single time, and using the fundamentals that are going to be discussed here at PDR Profit, but getting yourself into the mindset that you are worth the dollars you're about to say.
Yeah,
that goes a long ways.
I think a lot of people don't. I mean, there's a lot of folks in the industry who either don't believe or don't understand what their work is really worth, and that alone, that small item, is what has changed a lot of guys' businesses. I mean, I'll tell you one example. I remember last year at MTE, I was helping at Todd's booth. And I had a guy come up to me and shook my hand and said, "Hey, you're Paul Kordon. I wanted to introduce myself." And he said, literally with tears welling up in his eyes, he said, "You don't understand what your teachings have helped me with in my business and the kind of growth that we've experienced." And I didn't, honestly, guys, I don't even remember the guy's name. I don't remember ever having chatted with him or having him come up to me in any particular seminar. But that's the kind of stuff that I'm hearing on a regular basis. And it doesn't mean that I'm awesome. It just means that the information that guys don't know, that they don't even know, is working.
Yeah.
It's valuable, real world information that you can hopefully watch a video, take that concept and apply it to your business within the next hour, like right now, and see the difference in your revenue and your profit. And that's what I'm after. I'm after changing lives by changing guys' businesses.
Now, are you going to have a booth at MTE?
We will be sharing the booth with Carbon Tech, and we also will be having an education class with pre-sign up on Saturday. We're going to be doing that in one of the rooms. I don't even know if I know the room number yet, but stay tuned. You'll hear more about that. Actually, if you guys go to the call, go to the page and sign up for the updates and info, that'll all be going out. We'll be blasting that.
Yeah.
And then hopefully the goal is to launch sometime in early 2019. We're shooting for sometime in January. We don't have an exact date because we've got a bunch of stuff being done at the same time. We've got our web guy and we've got our video guy producing and all this other stuff. So stay
I signed up.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I know when in the past you've gone out and done consultations with businesses as well and helped them coaching individually. Are you planning on keeping that going as well?
So I certainly want to. I actually really appreciate that. I've got a few businesses that are right now. We're in discussions with figuring out how do we make that happen for their companies. I want to continue that. We just need to figure out what that looks like and how it fits into everything.
Sure.
Come up with kind of the order for that. But another thing I'm really excited about with it too, guys, is not just obviously, you know me, I'm always wanting to better the industry. I'm always wanting to better guys' businesses. So in addition to all the educational content, our goal is to be coming up with interviews from experts that aren't just in the PDR industry, but in all the industries that cross paths with PDR. You know what I mean? We're dealing with insurance companies and adjusters and lawyers and collision experts and marketing experts, sales, trainers to the trainers, consultants, and even more than that. And we've already begun to reach out to certain people that we found are just excellent in their field. And we've got a pretty awesome lineup of interviews and guys that we're going to pick their brains for you so that you can learn things about those industries that you may not know. So I'm really excited about that because that's just going to be a value-added resource for guys, in addition to a lot of the stuff that we would like to see compiled in one place, things that we've talked about in the industry for years. And that's going to be our goal. We want to equip dent guys and businesses to be able to basically leverage and maximize every aspect of their business that they can. And we do that through knowledge, man. A pinch of knowledge is worth a pound of effort is what I say. So
nice. Awesome.
That is what we're doing. The other cool factor is we've got a bunch of guys in the industry, a bunch of companies in the industry that we're going to be affiliated with, Mobile Tech RX being one of them. PDR Tool Time, you guys know that. We have talked to Anson and Edgy, Power PDR Box, Carbon Tech, obviously, and then another business that I'm involved in called Hale Auditors. And we're going to be just fortifying our relationships with those businesses so that guys know that, hey, we're legit, and this isn't just a fly-by-night operation. We are serious about our business, and we want to be associated with the best of the best.
Well, we look forward to working with you guys from Mobile Tech RX's standpoint, especially anything that's going to get that knowledge out there about improving your business, and especially on the estimating aspect. I know I'm going to be releasing a series of videos all throughout next year. Some guys are getting their butts whooped figuring out how to send off a simple supplement. Because all of the other systems and each insurance company, the way they write them and into their systems, they write them in differently. And it's very difficult if you're not into it at all times to know where all the money is in that estimate and whether or not you are capitalizing on it.
Yeah, I know. I've called you a couple times, John. What do I do?
Yeah, I'm in the dark when it comes to supplements because I just don't deal with insurance companies that often.
Right. Yep. So I know we're looking forward to that, Paul. I think we're going to have a classroom, and I think you're going to possibly come speak a little bit at ours. And I know I've talked with Todd about possibly speaking at your guys'. So yes, we'll all kind of work that out a little bit closer to MTE. But yeah, keep an eye on those calendars and keep an eye on the websites.
Are you speaking at any other seminars going on? Just out of curiosity.
I am the only one that I'll be presenting at is going to be, potentially is the Mobile Tech RX room.
Okay.
And that's the only one that I'm aware of. I won't be doing any speaking for PDR Nation or PDR College this year. Okay. But that gives me time to really focus on the launch of this product, which is cool. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's Education Day at MTE this year.
I believe the Mobile Tech RX will have a room at Education Day, if I understand correctly, and then our room will actually be on Saturday, and it'll be during the expo, so guys will be able to walk around, and then throughout that particular day, we're going to have I believe it's slated for 2 or possibly 3 presentations of PDR Profit and what it's going to be about. And you guys will be able to cycle through there. We're going to be doing some giveaways, so you'll definitely I believe what we're planning on doing is giving out raffle tickets and at the respective booths, and then guys will be able to see if they win. Some cool giveaways going on during that.
Now we've had you on here at least half dozen times, and always the feedback that we get is when Paul Kordon talks, people listen, and that's for a reason, Paul. And and I'm not trying to pat you on the back or anything like that, but you have done this.
I do. Virtual pat.
Okay. All right. Well, here. You can feel my pat on the back from here. Put your hands up in the air, Paul. Hands up in the air. Put your head down. And proceed to pat yourself on the back. Like that. Okay? That one's for me. There you go. All right. So, but it's always the same feedback, and you're always one of our highly listened to podcasts whenever we do have you on, is because, you speak the truth, and you're for the industry. You don't have ulterior motives and stuff like that. Obviously, this is a paid venture this time, and rightfully so. This is knowledge of 3 individuals that have been around a long time. You've been giving away this knowledge for so long, and now you're putting tenfold into it to make.
Well,
it
there's
even
also
better.
a lot of expense that's going into putting this all together. I mean, it's
about time he get paid.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically my heart is to help as many people as possible. That's ultimately what it comes down to. And I can only handle so many phone calls and emails and texts on a daily basis. And I mean, I'm telling you, just from the little bit that I've been able to help guys and then hear their responses and their successes, I know that there's probably 100-fold or 1,000-fold out there that could use help with those things. And this is an attempt for me to help as many as I can reach their fullest potential in their PDR businesses, because that's what I'm passionate about. That's what I love. And PDR guys just make me happy, man. Let's figure out how to do it for you. That's kind of what I'm about. So, and
that's the thing, because you're still out in the trenches. You're still doing it. It's not like you've given up PDR and now you're doing some type of training thing and talking about it, but not doing it.
Jeez, what are you saying, man? God, just like whack right in the back of the head with the Louisville Slugger. Just
John, not you, John.
Well, actually, I'm going to take stuff kind of right up Paul's alley. There's actually a few companies that are they do heavy training in Mitchell, CCC, and Autotex. Yeah. And releasing all that. And I intend to take several of those classes, mainly to try to help everybody understand the crossovers. When you're writing in Mobile Tech RX, and to be able to make sure that you're speaking the language of the insurance company and the software that insurance company is using. Mm-hmm. So I intend to really expand my knowledge, and I hope I get to help and share that with the people, not only the Mobile Tech RX users, but the PDR Profit people.
John, what I would like you to do in your hiatus from your Hail career and your big break with Mobile Tech RX, I would like you to get hired at like Farmers Insurance or as an adjuster, right? And go to adjuster class and learn how they write it up, right? I'm like, you know what? This isn't for me. I'm out of here. After
I already know how they write it up. Take all the damage and they just only go 10%. Isn't that how farmers?
We need a mole in the insurance industry, and you'd be perfect for it. You've owned a body shop. You're a keynote behind Mobile Tech RX. I think you should
honestly.
Do it.
Most adjusters, when you really get down to it, there's few corporate adjusters, and Paul, you can back me on this, but most adjusters don't like corporate policy either, but they're stuck with it. And I understand that, but that's where, when we're doing this training, and exactly what Paul is talking about here, understanding your business aspect is more than just understanding how to fix a dent. It's how to speak to that adjuster in the language that adjuster can understand and take back to his supervisor. Remember, they have a supervisor. They have overseers. They look over and nitpick. You think they nitpick us to death. That adjuster gets nitpicked to death. So the more intelligently you can convey your needs and pricing structure to that adjuster, the better he can take it to his supervisor and get the money that you need. Sure, we've all, everybody shares a story of the dick.
Sure.
And there's nothing you can do with that. I just throw them out of my building and get another one. There's always another one.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand how to speak to each and every one of them.
Yeah. You know what funny thing is, Dave Shalat, Mr. Shalate, we've had him on the show in the past. He actually posted today that he is no longer taking claims from Geico. He's done. No longer doing claims for Geico.
Now, see, Geico, I'm killing it with Geico this year.
Right. It's all regional, of course.
It is. And Geico is one of the only companies that I just put an ungodly. I mean, everybody's heard me joke about it, and I'm not really joking. I'm serious. If something comes in just completely destroyed, I'll put the stupidest high number. It would make Paul weep a couple of times because it's been well within upper 5 digits. I'm talking 75,000 and higher on cars before, and. But I'll put numbers, $1,200 on this part of the quarter panel and $1,200 on this part of the quarter panel, and Geico has paid it this year for me.
Awesome.
So it's just I justified the whole thing. I had the car ripped apart. We could take photos and look and see that, hey, it required different tooling to fix here than here. Everything that you do, it's just how you do it. And I really want to get much deeper into the 3 major systems that are used by all insurance companies and bring that back to the PDR industry.
I think that's phenomenal. That's going to be information worth, even paying for, in my opinion. But I just want to reiterate something John said. And that is, quite honestly, I think that at times many of us can learn more from the other industries that we cross paths with about improving our business than we can from the PDR industry itself. And I say that, and sounds a little bit counterintuitive for me to say that, considering I'm trying to sell education to PDR guys, right, about PDR, and I'm a PDR guy. But the reality is there are so many things to learn about communicating with insurance, companies, adjusters, collision centers, things like that, and to understand the inner workings of their businesses so that you can have a better view of how PDR fits into their processes. And once we understand that, we can better apply what we're doing and the prices that we're asking for and the service that we can offer. And quite frankly, maybe get a better view of the value of what we bring to the table.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Super important. I can't emphasize that enough. And there's a large part of what we're doing with PDR Profit that is going to be focused on some of those other industries, getting experts in their fields to come in and share their knowledge with us. That's one of our goals.
That's
I
awesome.
tell you, there's a group in the collision industry. I'm very in tune with that works just the same as you, Paul. They're trying to get body shops to understand that you need to charge this, your time, your effort, your shop space. Those all have value and a price attached to each and every one of them. And you need to charge accordingly for that. And it's, I find it very refreshing. And I love the fact that I'm sitting in these 2 aspects of auto body hearing the exact same thing. I love it. And I hope to help bridge it. And yeah, I'm going to love working with you guys with PDR Profit.
Yeah,
Paul, you're really setting the tone, and honestly, the future of our industry is going to change because of what you're doing, because we're taking control and not the insurance companies. And that's the beauty of what you're doing. And I hope guys really, really file behind you and support you in this like we are.
I appreciate that. I hope so. I don't want to assume too much or presume too much about what we're capable of doing. But like I said, my heart is to see guys just kill it in their business. And I've seen many guys succeed as a result of a lot of the stuff that I've taught them. And I just hope to be able to bring that to a lot more people. So that is the goal, my friends.
Yes. And you know what? I'm pretty sure you'll be successful at it.
Well, thanks, Vince. I appreciate that. And honestly, guys, right now, like I said, it's not, we aren't launching until early 2019. So the only call to action for everybody is basically to go to pdrprofit.com and go ahead and opt in for the emails and the updates. We'll keep you updated on launch date.
After that,
what's that?
What are we going to expect after the launch? What are we going to? Is there a membership fee?
So there will be a membership fee. we are still in the process of figuring out exactly what that price is going to be. It's not going to be cheap because it's going to be extremely valuable information, and we're putting a lot of effort into producing really high quality content, and we're going to use a couple of different mediums for that too. I think it's going to be pretty cool. But we're not nailed down on that yet. That's all stuff that's in process, and hence the reason why we're not launching until the beginning of 2019. We have some ideas, but I don't want to get the cart before the horse and tell you too much.
Okay.
So, but yep, that's we're excited about it though, man. We're pumped, and we're working day and night really to kind of pull this all together, and we have been for quite a while now. So, pretty exciting.
Awesome.
That'll be good stuff.
I appreciate you guys having me on and let me kind of.
Yep. Sorry, I was just signing up. I opted in for the information.
Everybody's signing in.
Yeah. Hey, while you're doing it, everybody who's listening, sign on right now.
Exactly.
Log in, sign up for it.
Daniel's saying stuff, but we can't hear him because his mic is really low.
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
That's not going to help you any. We still can't hear you, but that's okay. Speak up.
Sign up for MTE for Education Day.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, keep an eye on those schedules for those classroom times, and know when the PDR Profit guys will be in there. Mobile Tech RX is going to have one, and Paul will hopefully be able to come in and speak for a little bit on Education Day on our end, kind of discuss how to use the Paul Kordon price guide right in the
Precedent.
Mobile Tech.
And the good thing is you'll be at the booth over there at Carbon Tech, I believe. I'll be at the Anson booth, and I think you're right next to us, guys.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Mobile Tech RX is right there. We're going to have like a party
you guys
area.
aren't far away. Yeah, it's going to be
a little party. Yeah, I've helped Todd out the last couple of years at the booth, and it's always fun because I get to meet guys and stuff. But yeah, we'll definitely be there. And just a correction, we will not. PDR Profit will not be teaching on Education Day. We rented a room. Yeah, we rented the room for Saturday, but I will, unless I hear otherwise, I will plan on being at Mobile Tech RX's Education Day room to speak on behalf of the priced and feature and quite honestly how Mobile Tech RX has literally changed the world for many of us PDR technicians.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that to butter John up either.
No.
Well, I think we're going to have the room from 12 to 4, and we're going to break it up into two-hour segments. That way people can come and go and not listen to me drone on for 4 hours.
Oh, thank God.
John, are you going to be showing off? You going to be showing off the?
He's back.
The new program.
Yeah, we will be releasing the new build right at that time at MTE. So we'll be going through all of the redesign. Nobody's going to lose any information. There's not going to be any real change. The flow stays very similar. I just gave these guys a little sneak peek onto it. It is cleaner. It is faster. A lot of everybody's complaints have been addressed. A lot of my personal complaints have been addressed. And then shortly after, because the crew that we expanded to do this and get this done on time, then we're rolling right into the next series of things. Being able to take the credit cards will be rolling right in.
That's
shortly after the Mobile Tech Expo.
Yeah.
There's going to be tons of great stuff that's going to hit before hail season, and stuff that's going to be key for just everybody in the PDR, whether you're retail, hail chaser, anything like that. And then after the start of hail season, then we're going to go back in and keep expanding our other services like we've done in the past. We gear up for hail season, and then after hail season starts, then we start working on our other stuff.
Now, Paul, did you make an adjustment to the Paul Kordon price plan, or is it still the same for right now?
So we've discussed a number of small tweaks, and so I believe some of those tweaks will be in the next update. If not, they'll be in an update following it.
Sure.
I don't know exactly which ones because I leave that to the pros to figure out. But I do want to say this. I mean, I'll tell you, Mobile Tech RX from the beginning, you guys hit the ground running when it came to updating the software and keeping it, as fresh as possible and adding features to it. They kill it on that end.
They listen to the text. They listen to the text and make the adjustments.
We did it from a tech standpoint. The same thing that you're doing, Paul. You're not just coming at this from a theory. We didn't just come at Mobile Tech RX as from a theory. Came at it from experience. Yeah. You went out. Guys are like, well, you can't do that in hail. So what did you do this year? You went out and you did it in hail.
Right.
Yeah, it turns out you can too do it in hail. So, you know, and that's how Mobile Tech RX come about. Now, we'll drop this little bomb. We bought our first competitor out.
Nice.
So
Really?
we're not ready to drop any names yet.
God damn it.
But we'll be releasing that pretty close, pretty soon. But we did just buy out a first. It was a small competitor, but it was the first one. We're proud of it. It was good. So that's the first of many to roll into the Mobile Tech RX family.
That's awesome.
Hey, John, did I tell you that I started my own company doing the same thing you're doing? And I'm willing to sell.
So, guys, did I tell you about that?
Hey, me too. I have my own as well down in Southern California. It's called Vince's Mobile Estimation System. LLC.
I'm selling cheap too.
You're selling cheap.
Okay. Well, Paul, once again, it's always a pleasure getting you on here and sharing your wealth of knowledge with our community. I know they appreciate it as much as we do. I want to thank you again. Daniel, you're back. Your mic is working again, so you could say something.
Whatever.
So
That's good stuff.
all right. Well, Daniel?
Yeah, Paul, it's great having you on.
Thank you, guys. Hey, I really appreciate it. You guys have always been so supportive, and you're definitely showing up this time around too. So I appreciate it, and I hope I can help people, and I hope guys will check it out, give it a shot. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, guys. And don't forget, don't be cheap. Level up your tools. And to our European friends, John, tell them what they need to know.
Don't do stupid stuff.
Yes.
Yes. You didn't listen to the podcast today. And
No, I'm closing out my hail season, man. It's crazy time.
all right, and I still need to come up with something. So thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next one.
This ride's over.